Hey guys, I hope you're all doing really well. Today I have a pretty long overdue Pan Those Eyeshadows Project Pan update. My apologies for not getting this up for the month of May, but it kind of worked out well in the sense that I do have some progress to actually share with you this time around, and I am filming this a couple weeks early simply because I am going on vacation later on in June. So this is the very beginning of the month, but you won't be seeing this till the middle of the month. So it kind of worked out well so I can actually show you guys some progress for today's update, and realistically I just did not have the brain space to be able to film at the end of the month last month. I was really overwhelmed in my personal life. So now that things are kind of getting back on track and then I'm just gonna leave and go on vacation, I actually am able to sit down and share with you guys how this project is going. If you're not familiar with what Pan Those Eyeshadows is, this is a project pan that was started by my friend Alexi. She did it actually back in 2017 and 2018, and this year it has blown up. There's so many people doing this on Instagram and on YouTube. Everybody has their own way of doing this project, which I think is so cool and so amazing. I love how personalized this project, and truly all project pans are, but I've enjoyed seeing every single one of these that I've seen. So that's the best part about it is I just love eyeshadow, so I get to have fun watching everybody share their progress on their eyeshadows. So basically what I'm doing with this project is I have every single one of my single eyeshadows and palettes. I have every single one of those written down in a spreadsheet, and I randomly drew 6 eyeshadows to start with. Once I hit pan on something, I will roll in something new in its place, and truly it's completely randomized, so I have no idea what eyeshadows I will be working on once I hit pan on something. So it's been a lot of fun. It's definitely been a challenge, but enjoyable and a really great way to rotate through my palettes and through my eyeshadows. And I highly suggest that you go and check out Alexi's playlist where she did 2 full years of this project so that you can see kind of how a year of panning goes. And then definitely check out my playlist if you're not familiar with my projects so far, so that you can see what shadows I have rotated in and out of this project already. So with all that being said, I am really excited to share with you guys all of my progress, so let's just hop right into it. So the first palette I have to share with you has unfortunately been in this project since the very beginning. This is the Zulu by Juvia's Place. So I've been working on this palette for nearly 6 full months, and the shadow that I selected is this yellow right here, and clearly I have still not yet hit pan on it. I cannot believe how long this is lasting me, but the pan is absolutely massive. I have no idea how deep this is, and I've been wearing this frequently. This is primarily what I'm wearing all over my eyes today, and I've been doing this kind of look really frequently as of late just to try to get as much use out of this as humanly possible, and yet I cannot seem to hit pan on it. So I'm really hoping that maybe for my July update I'll have pan on it, but realistically I'm not traveling with this palette and I'm gone for 16 days of the month. So this is the color right here. It's just a true matte yellow shade. It is a beautiful color. I really do enjoy wearing it and incorporating it into a large variety of looks, but I am definitely ready to move this out of this project and put something else in its place, because this has been taking up so much of my energy and so much of my creative space. Like, I have played with so much yellow this year in order to try to hit pan on this, and it still has not yet happened. You can see here though in the pan like how deep that is. Like, there it truly is such a deep dip in the pan, and yet I still am not at the bottom of this pan. So hopefully that comes sooner than later, because like I said, it just is a beautiful shade. It's something I'm happy to be working on, but I'd love to just, you know, move on to new horizons. So hopefully that comes sooner than later. And the next palette that I have here is also a very colorful palette. This is the Blush Tribe Blossom palette. I have had one shadow in this project since update 2, so it's been in here for several months at this time, and then another shadow that I rolled in last time. So I actually have 2 focus shadows from this project, or from this palette rather, and they are the shades Zinnia and Dandelion. And as you can see, I actually have hit pan on both of those shadows. The one in Dandelion I'm sure is really difficult to see because I actually hit pan on that guy just today, which I'm really happy about because I didn't think that was going to happen. And Zinnia I hit pan on yesterday. So I'm happy that I kind of put off this update so that you guys could see some progress in here. Very small amount of pan in both of them since they are really recent pans. But Zinnia, I feel like it just was never ending. I wore so many coral looks, not only this month, but over the last few months, like probably since February when I guess I rolled this in February, yeah. And then Dandelion, this is such a sheer white shade. I couldn't really use it to like create like a cut crease or something along those lines. More so what I did was I would set down my primer with this. It was so sheer that it didn't really help to make other shadows pop, but it definitely just set that down so that I could blend other shadows on top of it. And then mostly what I would use this for is on a big fluffy brush. I would just use it to blend out the edges of my shadow, and then it would also at the same time highlight my brow bone without looking too harsh or too heavy or too structured. It really would just create a nice even blend and a highlight all in one. So I was using it primarily for that and didn't really create any looks where this was like a focal point or anything like that. More so it was that highlight or that base, so I don't have any looks that I created with it. But Zinnia I was incorporating into so many looks. Even my boyfriend Patrick, he even like made a note of being like, you've been wearing coral eyeshadow a lot lately, and I was like, yes, I know, I really need to get pan on this eyeshadow. That's the only reason why. But it was perfect for this time of year. I think going into the springtime, or going into the summertime rather, it has been really nice wearing a ton of corals. So I'm happy that I was able to hit pan on both of these shadows, which means I will actually be rolling in 2 new eyeshadows in this update. I have a handful of other shadows to share with you guys, however. So the next palette is the Urban Decay Electric palette, and this actually has 2 eyeshadows in it as well that I'm focusing on, and they are the shades Slow Burn and Thrash. So the 2 shadows that I'm focusing on in this palette is this bright grungy lime green shade right here, and then this red with a slight shimmer to it. This is called Slow Burn. And as you can see, no pan on either of these shadows quite yet. They are super pigmented, high pigment because these are actually pressed pigments, and they're bold colors, so they're things I can't really wear on an everyday basis, or you know, I kind of get bored of wearing them really frequently, so progress is very slow with both of these. Also, last update I had just rolled out a very similar shade to Slow Burn, so I've kind of backed off of it a bit because I've played with so many of these orange reds already this year that my progress is very slow going. And I did hit hard pan in Slow Burn as well, so I ended up kind of chipping away at it with a Q-tip, and it looks a little disfigured right now. But Thrash is actually starting to get a decent sized dip. There we go. Decent dip in there. I don't know if you can tell on camera, but there is a little bit of a dip happening. I've been wearing this mostly, it's like an inner corner highlight kind of look, or I'll wear it in the crease with like more army greens or deeper greens or even browns on the lid. I really like this paired with Colourpop Tea Garden, but the progress is going to be really slow on this. Here is a swatch of Slow Burn. It is just a beautiful orangey red kind of tone, and then Thrash is a grungy lime green, and it totally is my vibe. I just cannot wear it on an everyday basis, so that one right there is Thrash as well. And the final palette that I have in this project pan is the Revolution New-Trals versus New-Trals palette. You can see it's spelled out a little bit differently, and the shadow that I selected I picked actually last update, so I've only had it for about a month and a half at this point, and it's shadow number 15. So I have the palette upside down, but it's the 15th shade, which is this one right here. As you can see, no pan in it yet, but it is this deep taupey, slightly purpley kind of shade. I really do like this kind of color, but I'm just not feeling it right now in combination with the other shadows that I'm focusing on. I've been finding it to be a little uninspirational. So I have worn this as like an all over smoky eye. I have worn it on like the outer corner with cooler tone neutrals on the lid, And then I really liked this actually as a like smoky liner with the green from the Electric palette as my inner corner kind of highlighting shade, and that was all I had on my eyes. I really did like that look. So that's something I definitely will recreate in the future, but otherwise I haven't found a way that I absolutely love wearing this. But you can see I have made a decent sized dip in it. So it's that shade right there. The dip is definitely significant. I'm really happy with the amount of progress that I did manage to make over the last few weeks, especially feeling a little bit uninspired by this palette. So let's move on to what I am most excited to do, and that is to roll in 2 new eyeshadows so that I can replace the 2 that I did hit pan on. I love hitting pan on eyeshadows, but I love rolling in new eyeshadows to this project so that I can feel kind of re-inspired, reinvigorated, and have something new to play with and something new to hit goal on as well. So I have all of my eyeshadows written into my spreadsheet. There are actually, I think, 262 eyeshadows in there right now. So that does not include the eyeshadows that I already have pan on in my collection, as well as the eyeshadows that are already in this project pan. Those are all eliminated from this spreadsheet. However, I have kind of moved it around this month because I decluttered some of my Wet n Wild shadows. I also am working on this in my Mission 100% cruelty-free project pan. So these are moved out of that spreadsheet because they're things that I want to work on in that project. So I don't want to roll them into this project as well. And then I do have a new addition to my makeup collection, which is this guy right here. I could not resist this. This is the Urban Decay Born to Run palette. I could not resist it when it went on sale at Sephora. It's something that I've had my eye on for quite some time. I have swatched it several times, and although these are not shadows that I necessarily needed in my collection, I don't know, it just got me, you know? They're absolutely beautiful. I have played with some of these already and I'm excited to play with more of them. So those are added into the spreadsheet. I could very well pull a brand new shadow that's untouched into this project pan. And then another eyeshadow palette that is new to the spreadsheet but is not new to my collection. This is the Colourpop Pretty Much palette. I have no idea how, but I managed to completely forget about this little palette. It was actually in the bottom drawer of my makeup collection, so it wasn't with any of my other eyeshadows inside the box with one shadow swatched. So I don't know. I managed to somehow lose this and lose track of it, and it didn't make it into my spreadsheet from the very beginning. It also didn't make it into my makeup collection because I think somehow it fell behind when I must have pulled it out, swatched it, used it once, and then it must have fallen in behind on my drawers and into the back at the bottom drawer because it was at the very back of the bottom drawer and I had no idea that it was there. I don't know. I'm not usually like that with my makeup. I'm very much, if I buy something, I want to play with it over and over again. So I don't know what happened with this one, why it got like overlooked, but regardless, it's now added into the spreadsheet. This is a beautiful, cool toned, not quite neutrals, actually very pink and purple little 6-pan palette. So every single one of these shades is added to that spreadsheet as well. So with all that being said, I have 262 eyeshadow pans that are eligible for this project pan. So I just put into the Pretty Random app variables 1 to 262, and we are going to randomize one of these eyeshadows. So the shadow that I randomized is number 37. So shadow number 37 comes from a palette that has already been in this project before and I did hit my goal on. This is the Fenty Beauty Galaxy palette. So I had another shade in this project for several months earlier on in this year, but my new shadow selection is this guy right here, which is called Planet X. It is a beautiful, true chocolate brown kind of shade, and it has a lot of shimmer like every single shadow in this palette does. So I know it's swatched a little bit closely, but you can see it definitely is more of a neutral tone versus the other one is a much more cool brown. So I'm really excited for this. I think I should be able to hit pan on it relatively soon because this is a shadow I can wear pretty much every day. I feel like this is gonna really go really nicely on my eyes. I think this is the kind of shadow that I can pair with any kind of lip color really, and a lot of different neutrals like in the crease. So I think this is a beautiful shadow. I'm really excited to focus on this. I feel like it's finally time that I got a just good standard metallic neutral kind of color to work on. It feels like I haven't had that at all. Very, very excited about that. And then we are gonna draw the other addition to this project. So I have Pretty Random Up, and the shade that I selected is number 10. So sorry that it's gotten progressively darker and darker in this video, but it's gotten darker and darker outside, and it seems every day that I'm off and free and available to film is a rainy day. So my apologies for that, but we're gonna hop into the final eyeshadow. So the one that I selected comes from my single shadow selection here. I have been really wanting to delve into this for this project. I feel like it's really been unfortunate that I haven't reached into anything from this palette yet so far for this project pan, so I'm really excited about this. And the shadow that I selected is this guy right here. This is called the Big Three. It's from Colourpop, and it was from their 3rd birthday collection. So as it looks in the pan, it kind of looks like it's a true white shade, but it actually is a metallic with a purpley blue kind of shift. So can you see it there? I'm sure it's really difficult to see, but it does have a slight shift to it. So this is a very unique shade to be working on for me personally. I don't know how I'm gonna play with this. However, I think it will be a really cool inner corner kind of highlight, or even brow bone highlight. I might even play with this on the cheeks, but I'm really excited about this because this is something that I haven't really delved into all that much from my collection, even though I've had it for several years at this point. So I'm really looking forward to making progress on this. This will be a few months of work for me for sure at this point, but I'm really happy about this because I feel like I haven't had quite enough shimmers or metallics in this project, and thankfully this month I've added those in. I'm not sure that I could play with all of these at the same time, but I can definitely mix and match these shadows. I think this like taupey shade from the Revolution palette will actually look really cool with that Colourpop shade, and the Colourpop shade definitely will pair with any of these mattes. I think it could really transform them. So I am really excited to play with all of these shadows. I'm excited to see where the next month goes with progress. Hopefully I can have a little bit of progress for you over the coming month, but given the fact that I will be on vacation for most of it, I'm not sure because I'm not going to be traveling with any of these palettes. They're all too big and bulky. I am only taking a backpack. So we will see how the next month goes, but I'm really looking forward to playing with all of these shadows when I'm back from my vacation. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Please consider subscribing if you haven't already. I have noticed recently that almost half of my viewers are not subscribing to me. So please, if you are interested in this series or if you like project panning in any capacity, please do consider subscribing. I'd love to have you here and be a part of my little panning community. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one, and yeah, bye guys.